You know, I get no respect. When I was born, the doctor slapped my mother. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And sometimes people are known for their one-liners. Rodney Dangerfield, the author of I Get No Respect, was certainly one of those people. And on our last visit together, I was talking about an article by a gentleman named Tim Denning, One Sentence Truth Bombs from People Worth Paying Attention to. And I gave you 6 of those last time. We're going to give you 6 more that are relevant to individual success. First one comes from a lady named Candace Platter, who, frankly, I don't know who it is, but this is a one-liner. Quote, "If it doesn't open, it's not your door." Today and forever, people are so reluctant to take a chance, take a risk, make a move, because they're afraid of quote-unquote failure. It's too bad that people don't realize that failure, that if you want to succeed more, you have to fail more often. And you have to have sort of a immune system built up to handle rejection. Every time you come to a new door, a new opportunity, sometimes you're going to find that that door is not meant for you to walk through. Don't let that be a problem. If the door doesn't open, just move on to the next door and try that one. You know, that was something that I tried in my dating circle, so to speak. I'd go up to one young lady and ask her out, and I got that door slammed in my face. So I didn't say, you know what, if that door slammed in my face, I guess I'm destined to never go out with somebody. Well, you don't really have that kind of an attitude if you ever want to establish a relationship with someone. So you have to go to a different door, and it's as simple as that. Also, in making this channel, I knew that I was going to have to find somebody that had some technical knowledge to be able to upload these videos and make these videos and so on and so forth. I was okay with the content, I know what to say, but the actual aspect of getting it out there and editing it, and Amber, I love you, thank you very much. That's the lady that takes care of that for me right now. I knew that was something that I needed, and so I just essentially started knocking on doors. I would see people that were, you know, had some, you know, what I thought some technical acumen, and I would ask them and explain to them, and I got no, 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 which is okay, because it's not like baseball. You don't get 3 strikes and you're out. All you need is 1 at bat to hit a home run, and I hit a home run. So that's the way you want to understand that you make progress. You're going to get a lot of no's, but if the door doesn't open, go to the next door. Next quote is from Prince E.A. I have no idea who Prince E.A. is. Prince E.A. tells us, and I quote, "You do not need to text your friend every single day to still be friends." You know, recently I composed a video talking about gratitude, and one of the things that I was grateful for was this sort of a reunion that friends of mine have, that people belong to this organization, the West End House, belong to this organization and get together, you know, at this camp in Maine, isolated, no technological devices for the most part, and essentially all it is a camaraderie and brotherhood and so on, telling the same story so on, over and over and over again. Okay, this year, obviously, pandemic, we're not having it. It's not possible. So I made this video. Well, when I made the video, a couple of my buddies that, you know, are subscribers, they watched the video, and then they said to somebody else, "Hey, Pistol," which is my nickname, "Pistol made a video, you got to watch the video." Got a tremendous response and a lot of emails from my buddies whom I haven't seen in a year or two that said, hey, great video, we really like the video, you know. So people that are your friends, you don't have to see them every day, you don't have to text them every day. It's not necessary that you do that. And then when you pick up, and the people that are your real friends, you pick up with them just like it was yesterday. So, you know, don't be a slave to social media. You know, you know, you can be apart for 5 years, see each other, and you can still feel as though the world hasn't moved a single millimeter. Tim Denning wrote that. The next one is from Oscar Wilde. Quote, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist." This is one of my main peeves I've spoken of many, many times. People in life, when you're a young man or a young lady, you go into school, you're learning new things, life is exciting, you have new adventures, things that you haven't done before. It's tremendously exciting. And then you get to a point where you get a job and you get on the treadmill and you're doing the same thing over and over again, and your life goes from living it to merely existing. You've got to maintain the excitement of what it is to be alive. You know what, when you talk to some people and you see them, there's no difference between talking to them and talking to somebody that's lying in a bed in a coma. They're both breathing, and that's essentially the highlight of their activity. They're not doing anything new. They're not doing anything where they're taking a chance. They're not doing anything where they're getting to experiencing something new from a different perspective. Life is meant to be lived. It's not meant to merely exist. You got to go out there, you got to try some new things, you got to make some new friends, and then you pick and choose who you want to hang with, all right, and the things that you want to do. And you want to have, you know, once you have your purpose, your singleness of purpose, you know, dedicate your time to that. But you're not able to figure out what your favorite dessert is until you've tried several of the items on the dessert tray. And you can tell by my structure that I'm continuing that policy as we speak. So the point is that, you know, you want to make sure that you're only on this, you're only on this planet for a given length of time. Make the most out of it. And the only way to make the most out of it is to try and experience as much of it as you possibly can. Our next quote is from Joseph Campbell. "Find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain." Hey, we all go through life, and life is a roller coaster. You know, you have some days that are good days, some days that aren't so good. You know, things like that happen. Yesterday I had a dish all ready that I spent like 45 minutes constructing. I put it down on a table. The table got nudged. The whole thing fell on the floor. My immediate comment was, "Ugh!" Okay, this was not a good thing to happen. Then my internet went out. So I'm trying to prepare to make these videos. I'm thinking to myself, you know what, this isn't being such a really great day. But what you have to do is you have to sit back and you have to envision in your life things that were joyful to you, experiences that you had that were joyful to you, to help handle that, you know, to become somebody that is capable of anger management. Because we all go through situations like that. One of the things that I always preach is have a series of events where great things happen to you, so you can go back, put yourself back in that particular place and get your attitude right. Because if you allow that little spark of anger to fester, that's not going to be good for you. It's not going to be good for the people around you. And here's the key point. Every day in the morning, once again, when you have your quiet thinking time, make sure you dedicate yourself a few minutes to things that you're grateful for. because when you do that, then you start to feel good, you have a positive mental attitude. And here's the thing that for some reason people don't get. Your attitude is not determined by the outside circumstances, it's determined by the inside circumstances. That's something that you have control over. So make sure that you take control, that you have that positive mental attitude, that you're excited about going out into the world, and then you'll find that people will be more excited to see you because they look at you as an oasis in a desert of negative people. Dr. Seuss is the author of our next quote, and his quote is, "Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple." You know, one of the things that I've heard from many different people, and the one that comes to mind immediately is Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins said the key thing to being successful is having the ability to ask the right questions. That's so true. How do you ask the right questions? All right, so people tend to simplify things. They look for complicated answers. When you ask the right questions, most of the time the answers become simple. And the right question asked the right way at the right time can literally change your life. Questions unlock your curiosity, and curiosity is where possibility can be found. Too many people are handcuffed to certain rules. And I'm not talking about, don't go through a red light. I'm talking about societal rules where they say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, or the rules of a particular occupation, a business. Say, oh, we can't do that. You've got to get out of the mindset of saying we can't, and the people that are in the 5% group, the successful people, change that question. If I give you nothing else today, get this. You've got to change your question, and your question can't be, you can't say, I can't do this. Your question has got to be, how can I do this? How can I get around this obstacle? What detour do I have to make to go from point A to point B? And that is the right question. People limit themselves by saying, we can't do that. And the people that are the major achievers have gone through that and changed the question to, how can I do that? This is a critical piece to those that are in the 5% group. And finally, this one is from Tim Denning himself, the author of this article. Overwhelm is the enemy of passion and energy. Passion and energy become hyper-focused when you focus on one thing. And Tim is very quick to point out, because remember the title of his article was One-Liners from People. The first thing he says is, oops, I broke the one-sentence rule mentioned in the headline. It was to prove a point. Rules are meant to be broken. Breaking the rules is a reminder of how much the stuff you complain about related to how the worldview should be is unimportant. Breaking the rules is sometimes something that you must do. You never want to, yell in a place because you're disturbing the peace. But if there's a fire in the place, what do you think you have to do? Fire! Get out! Let's go! Let's move! Sometimes you have to break the rules. If you're, one time I remember I was, in New York, and I was driving, and this car behind me is beeping the horn, beeping the horn, beeping the horn, and you know how it is in New York. If you're 1 second past the time the light changes, people are beeping the horn. I'm looking at the light's still red. I'm thinking like, hey bud, what are you beeping your horn? And I'd look back, and I saw a guy there, and he's going, come on, come on, come on, and he's pointing to his kids, and I see blood, and I scooted over as quickly as I could. The rules are sometimes made to be broken. And the key thing is that you have to be cognizant of when that time comes. Now, most of the time, it's social change that we're talking about, but it also takes place in the business arena as well. I mean, Southwest Airlines is an example. They don't assign seats. Nobody did that before. All right? You know, people come up with different ideas that change industries. So this is the way, you know, and when you have passion and energy, the key thing to getting new ideas in here and also out there is you have to have a passion to succeed, a singleness of purpose. And when you do, then that sort of ignites your energy, and go with your energy. Don't limit yourself. Take that energy and just explode with it. You know, as a basketball player, when I was younger, and I'm sure that the great basketball players can relate to this, although they've achieved a heck of a lot more in that venue than I, is we play and the winners stayed on the court. So I was, you know, determined we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win, and we win 4 or 5 games in a row. And you play 4 or 5 games in a row and you're beat, you're tired. But you know what? You stayed out there because you had the passion and you somehow found the energy to keep it going. So just a couple of examples. Passion and energy, and you become hyper-focused when you focus on the one thing. So we've given you in these last 2 videos 12 different thoughts to take to the bank. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.